Indeed, let's get to our first conversation. Schneider's purpose is to create impact by empowering all to make the most of available energy and resources, bridging progress and sustainability for all. Now, at Schneider, their mission is to be a trusted partner in sustainability and efficiency. They are a global industrial technology leader, bringing world-leading expertise in electrification, automation, and digitalization to smart industries, resilient infrastructure, future-proof data centers, intelligent buildings, and intuitive homes. Now, Schneider is a people company with an ecosystem of 150,000 colleagues and more than 1 million partners operating in more than 100 countries to ensure proximity to customers and stakeholders. My guest is Mr. Ajibola Akindele, MFR, is country president, Schneider Electric. Mr. Akindele is a leader with over decades of experience in Africa's energy sector, deploying best-in-class technology solutions to advance the region's energy, specializing in renewable energy, oil and gas, infrastructure development, and utilities. Now, as country president of Schneider Electric, West Africa, he drives transformative initiatives, focusing on electrification, automation, and control and sustainable development, with expertise in power transmission, distribution, and solar energy. Mr. Ajibola has been instrumental in expanding electricity access in rural areas across Nigeria. Let's get talking. Good afternoon. It's good to have you live in the studio.
Good afternoon, Tolu, and good afternoon to our viewers.
Great stuff. I think we should start 25 years, Schneider celebrating 25 years in Nigeria. What has the journey been like? Tell us a bit about it.
Thank you very much again, Tolu, and I'll say thank you for the good introduction. There's much more I need to talk about Schneider.
You're welcome.
But we are, first of all, a French company, originally headquartered in Paris, in France. We have been around for about 200 years. As you rightly said, we have about 153,000 employees in 110 countries. So we think of ourselves as a global organization. That's a global company with a bit of a local flavor. In Nigeria, we've been here for 25 years. We started in the year 2000 with one employee, as a matter of fact, and she's still with us till today. In fact, 3 of our first 4 employees are still with us today. So that is a testimony to, the kind of work environment we provide. So when we started in 2000 with those first few employees, we started from an office in Victoria Island, not so far from here, at Eleganza Biro Plaza. And then by 2006, we moved into an office on the mainland with about 50 employees at the time, where we would then stay for 18 years. Last year, we moved into our new headquarters, which will then service the whole of West Africa, from Lagos. We also have offices in Bonny Island, in Port Harcourt, and also in Accra. Currently, we're about 250 employees, servicing major critical areas in Nigeria, in the power sector. As the name electric sounds, power sector is quite big for us. Just on Friday, we joined the Honorable Minister of Power, the Commissioner of Energy for Lagos State, and the leadership of Ikeja Electric to commission a new 15 MVA substation, injection substation in Ikotun. So that substation would basically provide steady, reliable power to about 50,000 residents in the Koto area of Lagos. So those are some of the things that we do. As you said, we also work very much in the energy sector, delivering safely hydrocarbons, right, to partners, whether it's in the gas sector, in the oil sector, or even across the refinery chain. Beyond that, we're also very big on data centers. There's a lot of data being transmitted and has to be stored. So that's also a very, very big part of our business. We work across various industries. We support the telecom sector. We support the building sector, right? Whether with our building management solutions or our guest room management solutions for the hospitality industry. You won't believe even in the transportation sector. So if you take the Blue Rail, which is the first intra-city rail system, it's all electrified by Schneider Electric. So it's been 25 years of progress, from one employee to over 250 employees today. We're proud of our achievements in Nigeria, and we look forward to the next 25 years.
Indeed, interesting stuff. And you already started highlighting some of Schneider Electric's impact now focused on Nigeria. Can we be specific? Tell us some.
Yeah, so when you look at our impact, across Nigeria, I think, first of all, it's about creating jobs. Right. I said we create about 250 direct jobs, but we work with over 400 partners, partners who are distributors, who are retailers, who sell in areas where we cannot get to because we only have our offices in Lagos and in Port Harcourt, So we have retailers who distribute our products. We have panel builders, we have system integrators who put together solutions using our products, right? So if you look at that ecosystem, it's about 400 of those, right? And the largest of those organizations actually has close to 200 employees themselves. So looking at it in an indirect manner, we create over 5,000 jobs in Nigeria. Right, but beyond that, we've also contributed a lot to society. I talked about our office in Bonny Island. We do a lot of work over there, and as you probably know, there isn't a direct connection between Bonny Island and Port Harcourt. So when teenagers need to take JAM exam, they'll have to go by boat, to Port Harcourt. And about a few years ago, we actually built a new multi-purpose JAM center, in Bonny Island, where teenagers can now take their JAM. Over there, it's a 200-seater computer-based facility. They don't need to go by ferry or by boat to Port Harcourt any longer. And they can also take all sorts of other exams like the SAT and the likes. So those are some of the things that we are doing. Beyond that, we've partnered with the Federal Nigeria Society for the Blind, where we've installed about 16 kilowatts of renewable energy solution, delivering clean energy, to their classrooms, to their hostels, and also to their libraries. We have a youth education and entrepreneurship program, where we train a lot of people on vocational skills. Over the last 12 years, we've trained over 10,000 people. We've partnered with various educational institutions like University of Ibadan, like Yaba College of Technology, like the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, right? And we also partnered with other vocational institutions like NAPTEAN, like LastVerb, like Enactus to actually deliver vocational training, equip people for entrepreneurial opportunities and also for them to get jobs. So in terms of the impact we've made, I can go on and on. First of all, it's creating jobs directly, creating indirect jobs, but also creating entrepreneurs, equipping people, upskilling people, and ensuring that our teeming young population can have a career and they can do things for themselves.
Brilliantly, but Nigeria continues to face this challenge with regards to power reliability. At the moment, I think we're still doing below 5,000 megawatts generation, transmission challenges. We can go on and on with that. But in what way can Schneider Electric's technology help in resolving some of these issues? Yeah,
in several ways. I think I mentioned just now that on Friday, just as recently as Friday,
I saw that
we did commissioned a new 15 MVA injection substation that will service about 50,000 residents in the Koto area. So the first way is to actually reinforce the grid infrastructure. As we all know, we have a rather old and fragile grid, with a lot of system collapses. So it's really working with the relevant stakeholders in the power sector to reinforce the grid infrastructure and to try to stabilize the grid. So that's one of the first things that we do. Plus, over the years, we've seen a lot of underinvestments in the power sector, which has that meant that load has really outpaced, or load demand has outpaced generation. So again, there's a need to reinforce the infrastructure. Now, the second area is also in the area of renewable energy or microgrids, so to speak. So there's a lot of funding going to that space. There's a lot of work that we have been doing in the microgrid space, whether it's offshore, whether in the rural education space, completely off-grid, or we can look at, what we call interconnected microgrids, where you're connecting a microgrid to the grid itself, So there are all sorts of options there where we're looking at. So it's about decentralizing the grid, bringing in renewable energy, bringing in microgrids, and just trying to bring power closer to the people, as you rightly said. And then maybe the third area we can also look at is in the area of digital. It's become a word that we all kind of, speak about, digital technology, making things smart, making things intelligent. Of course, we can help to digitize the grid, automate the grid with some of our solutions, substation automation, creating more redundancy, and then making the grid easily more stable and reliable, but at the end of the day, easier to monitor. So before anything happens, you can actually correct it in advance, bring in solutions like predictive maintenance. So those are some of the areas where we can help stabilize the grid. But again, lots of work to be done. And again, we also want to say that, there's been progress, right, in the last few years for sure.
What about homes and residential buildings? How is Schneider Electric trying to also address energy efficiency at that level?
Absolutely. So maybe I can break that into two parts. There's the commercial buildings and then there's residential. So maybe I can start with the commercial buildings first. So when you look at our commercial buildings, whether it's hotels, whether it's shopping centers or whatever it is, there's a lot of energy savings that needs to be done. So we can bring our solutions, to manage the HVAC systems, the ventilation, the heating, and ensure that the right amount of energy is consumed. Right, so we're not wasting, we're reducing the wastage, of energy, and we're limiting it to what is essentially needed. Now, going back to the homes, right, I'll just say there's a lot of work that also needs to be done in terms of standardizing equipment. 90% of fires in the homes are actually caused from faulty equipment. So when we bring energy efficient products into your homes, we talk about things around home automation, you have the right level of equipment that ensure that, one, you have the right warranties and they're connected properly. So for us, the building segment is something that is also very big. For us, whether it's commercial or residential, there's a lot of optimization, energy efficiency standards that needs to be done. For even hotels, we do guest room management systems where we actually automate and manage the guest experience. So there's a lot of work we also do in the building sector.
That's really a big one, talking about residential and, of course, commercial space. But clearly, industrialization depends so much on adequate infrastructure now. What role does digital automation, AI, now specifically have on Nigeria's industrial future, in your understanding? Yeah,
so for me, those are things that have come to stay. Right.
Indeed, they have.
You either embrace it or you walk out of the door.
The fear of AI taking our jobs.
It's taking, they're newscasters that are complete AI agents now. And you find a lot of organizations, AI agents are actually part of the team with set goals and, objectives. So those are things that, have come to stay and live with us. And we're also supporting various areas, also working with the various agencies of government to bring in digital solutions, to bring in AI in a number of areas. First of all, it's really about life cycle management, right? It's about automating maintenance and ensuring that your critical equipment continue to stay operational throughout the life cycle. So if we can actually predict using AI and using software technologies when equipment will fail, so when you know that there is a failure that is going to happen, then you can also very quickly adjust and create the right type of maintenance well in advance before the failure happens. So whether it's in the area of energy management, managing the flow of energy, in terms of managing assets, because if you look at these big industrial companies, their assets are the most critical things, right? They cost a lot of money. They don't want them to fail. Right, so we can bring software, technology, AI, automation to ensure that, one, they work efficiently and they do not fail. And if it's going to fail, it is known in advance and we can plan for corrective action.
Looking ahead, what's Schneider Electric's vision for Nigeria's energy and industrial sector, say, over the next 10 years?
Okay, so let me say, we've been here 25 years.
Yes.
I think we're going to be here beyond 10 years. I think even beyond 25 years. If you look at the demography of Nigeria, it's a country that suits Schneider Electric for a number of reasons. One, look at the market, it's the most populous country in Africa, right? It's arguably the largest market in Africa. Very young, tech-savvy population, in need of data, in need of critical infrastructure. Right, and those are the things that we provide. So whether it's things like power generation, data, energy, those are things that basically fit into our own objectives. So in terms of where we see, opportunity and areas to work along with the various sectors, first of all, it's about taking people out of energy poverty. Right. At Schneider Electric, we say that access to energy is a fundamental human right. As you know, about 50% of the population have access to power. Probably only 20% have access to clean, reliable power. So over the next 10, 25 years, that's an area we're going to focus on. It's about reducing energy poverty, right? It's about getting more energy access for, to our teeming population and getting access to clean, reliable energy. So that's one area we're certainly going to focus on over the next 10 or 25 years. Yeah. The second area, obviously, is going to be in the area of digital, right? As I said, this is something that has come to stay, whether it's the manufacturing sector, the oil and gas, the power sector. You know, digital is AI. Those are technologies that we have to embrace and, you know, have come to stay and are only going to increase. Now, with all of that data flowing around is the need for data centers. Yeah, right? So because those data has to be stored, it has to be managed. Yeah. And we provide a lot of solutions for data centers. In fact, globally, that's actually our biggest segment globally, right? So we provide critical emergency power solutions. We provide, you know, cooling systems for data centers, you know, cybersecurity and software as well. So for us, that's also an area that will certainly grow. It's going to boom, by the way. So we're talking of taking people out of energy poverty, data centers, you know, another area that we certainly see is the area of sustainability, right? And just helping and supporting the country with climate change objectives, achieving its climate change objectives, and also helping companies to also embrace, you know, sustainability initiatives, renewable energy. Maybe I should have mentioned earlier that for the past 2 years, we've been named the most sustainable company in the world. Wow. By Time Magazine, and practically by everyone else that you know, that brings out those you know, ratings. So for us, those are areas that we're going to focus on, right, over the next 25 years. And in terms of our commitment, we're still committed to Nigeria. We're going to continue to empower people. We're going to continue to train people. We're going to continue to upskill people. We're hoping over that period, the number of employees we have would double, and the number of partners we have would also double. But for us, you know, it's a country we are very committed to. Nigeria is one of our 6 major hubs in Africa, and we see ourselves being here over the next 10, 20, 25, 50 years.
Great stuff there. I think it's a good way to live it. I wish you all the best moving forward. Country President Schneider Electric, Sajibola Akindele, thank you so very much. Wish you all the best in Schneider Electric.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we will take a break, and when we return, IMF upgrades Nigeria's economic growth forecast to 3.4% amidst other burning economic issues. Development economist Professor Ken Ife would be my guest, but that's after this break.